Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity and creator of Bogash Life and Balance, as well as the author of Migraines and Epilepsy, How to Find Relief, Live Well, and Protect Your Brain. And as such, like the brain and things that happen to the brain, both immediately and downstream, are something that's very important to me. And really, in the past decade, we've learned about something called the glymphatic system. And that sounds like somebody just threw an extra consonant on the lymphatic system. I'm not really sure where the G came from, but it has everything to do with essentially the lymphatic system in the brain, which we've always thought that there wasn't much of. But it turns out that there really is a system in the brain that helps clear out waste products, bring in new nutrients, and that is called the glymphatic system. And still, our understanding of it is still relatively in its infancy. But we do know a couple things. Is that first of all, it absolutely decreases with age. That may be one of the reasons why we have things like Alzheimer's and cognitive decline, because we can't quite clear out the gunk, if you will, and bring in new nutrients as we start to age. Endothelial dysfunction, or poor blood vessel health, which is a hallmark of like prediabetes, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, is another thing that really affects the glymphatic system. So that really makes sense because all of those conditions are associated with poor brain health and problems with cognitive decline. Another couple few interesting things. The glymphatic system essentially only works at night, and certain hormones like norepinephrine, which helps with alertness and awareness and awakeness, actually decreases glymphatic action. So when they've looked at mice and they stimulate the receptors of norepinephrine, they actually stop the glymphatic activity in the brain. So it makes one wonder how certain drugs that that stimulate norepinephrine, so the SNRIs like Pristiq, Cymbalta, Effexor, might actually affect the brain in the long run. There's a potential that could be a negative response. But we know that head trauma actually starts to affect the glymphatic area of the brain. And that may be one of the reasons why head trauma, especially post-concussive, can actually create some problems in the long run. Maybe it disturbs the glymphatic system, among other things. So what becomes important then is, well, what can we do to improve the glymphatic system? We obviously can't change age. We can certainly change our lifestyles that relate to prediabetes. Age is not changeable. So let's go over a short list of things that are known to increase or decrease glymphatic function. Top of the list is exercise. That shouldn't come as a big surprise that movement is good for the brain. Period. It helps us get rid of waste products and bring in new nutrients. It's just exercise is not optional. If you are not moving, you are not doing what you can for your brain. Just flat out, pure and simple. It doesn't get any clearer than that. Healthy fats, so omega-3 fatty acids, we know that those help with post-concussion, so it would make sense that omega-3s actually help with the glymphatic system. So having a diet that has healthier fats in it is going to be good for your brain. Intermittent fasting, ketogenic diet, both aspects of those are known to increase glymphatic clean out in the brain. That may also be one of the reasons why snacking on things like carbs may not actually be very good for us at night. It may actually interfere with the glymphatic system in the brain and promote poor brain health in the long run. Sleep is important. I've already mentioned that. But specifically, sleeping on your right side seems to improve glymphatic drainage and movement through the brain. Not everybody can do that. It's probably a smaller factor, but anything we can do to positively affect our brain is certainly it. Acute alcohol consumption may actually improve glymphatic system. However, chronic goes the opposite way and starts to destroy it. So moderation in minimal lower frequencies would certainly indicate that that would be a better option. And the bottom line is chronic stress destroys the brain. We know that it shrinks regions of the brain like the hippocampus. And so it would make sense that chronic stress would affect the glymphatic system and lead to poorer brain health. So these are all things that are modifiable, things that we know can improve brain health. So things like migraines, things like cognitive loss, depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all these things can be helped by these brain health items that help and impact the glymphatic system. So all of these things have been shown to have a positive impact on those conditions that I just listed. So whether it's through the glymphatic system or some other mechanism, we don't really know, but we know that those things are good for the brain. So as always, I'll post a link to, there's a particular study looking at how the glymphatic system is affected with head trauma. And I'll post that in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think hits their head a little bit too often, and subscribe to the channel.